My name's Sarah B. I'm one of the students at the Aura CDT, and today we're here at the Aura Innovation Centre for the very first Aura CDT Student Conference in offshore wind energy and the environment. We decided to ask the delegates one question and one question only. How green is offshore wind energy?
Okay, that's a hard question. Right.
It's a complex question.
It's a good question, not an easy one.
I can't quantify it. I don't know enough to quantify it. Getting anything to be perfectly green is probably impossible.
There's many different ways of thinking about what green means.
I think we all need to define what we mean by fully green.
The idea behind the offshore wind industry is quite green, but the reality is that it's not entirely green in its action.
You have to build the things to catch the wind or the sun, and mining isn't truly sustainable unless you've got complete cyclical recycling. So I think in that sense it's not that green.
In terms of materials required for it, especially with the current mining processes and the rare resources required for quite a lot of the electronics, it's miles off where it needs to be considered truly green.
There's a lot of decarbonisation that still needs to happen in terms of the supply chain and in terms of manufacture as well, but it's probably one of the best options we have.
I'd say it's quite green. The actual production of the energy is green. I think more will need to be thought about the manufacturing of the actual components to make it like fully green.
Once the project is installed, it just generates clean green electricity.
Yeah, I think it's fairly green. It's, especially from a marine biologist point of view, you get the reef effect from the foundations, so it's a fish aggregating device. And obviously it's better than fossil fuels.
As we approach the decommissioning of the turbines, we've got to look at what happens to the materials that come off the turbines, and then look at solutions around that, how we recycle it, what can be reused.
And I think to fully understand how green it is, we need to go through a full cycle.
I think it will become greener because there's so many connected things, so green hydrogen and how do we store the energy and how do we have an integrated grid, and all of that will make it greener.
I think offshore wind will play a decisive and crucial role in decarbonising the grid.
There's a lot of effort going in across the whole of industry to decarbonise the whole process.
You will be able to definitely, using offshore wind, get to that net zero carbon target.
We are certainly net neutral or net zero, but I think there is criticism of the industry for things like whether or not we can recycle components of the projects, how we impact the environment, and also the use of gases like SF6. The good news is we're dealing with all those.
There's a big push now to make the entire sector much more circular in the way that it uses resources.
Understanding better what environmental impact it has as well. Things like cables on the seabed, and if you remove them at decommissioning, is that a bigger benefit than leaving them there? So understanding those kind of things is a big part of it.
I do believe it's quite green, but I also think it's a new technology, so there will be vast improvements to make in the years to come.
It's a good start and it's a good alternative to what has been originally used, but there's obviously always ways that it can be improved, but I think a lot of people are looking at those ways to improve.
No, we will get there, we have to. There's no option not to, is there? So we have to do it. It's whether or not we get the investment so that we can do the work that needs to be done to hit the desired target, which I think is very ambitious.
I'm very grateful for the development and the innovation in this space, because it feels, after listening to the news this morning, it's very, very good that we're looking at developing this as a capability in the UK.
But ultimately what we need to move to is a way of producing energy that results in no net harm effects to the environment.
We really need offshore energy because right now we need a green energy.
This video wouldn't have been possible without the help from the Aura Innovation Centre staff, the University of Hull Media Department, and of course all of our kind delegates who took the time to answer the question. Thank you very much.